y'all, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda. Today I'm in my garden about to plant the trees that I showed you all in a previous video. I have an apple tree, a pear tree, and a plum tree. I'm going to be planting those out in the garden today. I'm also going to be planting the flowers. I'm going to be planting the cannas, the peonies, the hydrangeas, and the dahlias. I'm going to be putting those in containers. The trees are going to go in the ground. But first I wanted to show you all something that my son Rick decided that we needed to have on the homestead to repel the snakes, and it is called snake repellent. And it is effective, natural, and safe protection for your home. This is what they look like. They are these balls, and they also come with these little bags that look like the tea bags that I use. One of these, you put them in the little bags to keep them from dissolving so fast or getting, like when my chickens are out in the yard, they won't be able to peck them. And but they are all natural, so it's just the smell of them that is supposed to repel the snakes. So I just wanted to show those to you all in case someone is having that problem. And I am not sure how they are going to work because this is the first season that I will be using them, but I am optimistic that they're going to help to keep the snakes out of the yard so that I can be able to come out here and feel more confident. You know, I'll still be on guard, but I'll feel better knowing, you know, that I have something out here that is supposed to be effective in keeping them away. So let's go ahead and let's plant these trees. I already started digging one of my holes, and so I'm going to finish digging that hole. And as I told you, I'm going to be putting them into the native soil so that they can adapt to this native soil that is in my yard. They're not going to get any fertilizer right now. I'm going to wait until the growing season since these trees are dormant. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get them planted in because I want to get as many things planted as I can so that when it's time for me to start bringing my seedlings out and put them in the garden, then I won't have all these other things, you know, in line. I'll go ahead and get whatever I can right now planted up, and that'll free up some of my time. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first one that I have is my Honeycrisp apple. I'm going to cut it out of the bag so that I won't injure my roots. Okay, this is looking like some rich potted mix and bark, so I'm not going to throw it away. I'll save it and I can use it in the bottom of one of my containers. This is what my root system is looking like. I'm gonna make my hole just a little bit wider. Remove some of my plastic. And y'all, once I get all of my stuff planted in the garden, I will be putting down some more fresh plastic. But for now, while I'm getting everything planted, I'll just be pulling it up as I plant. I just want a wider hole so I can spread my roots out. Okay, so I'm going to try to stand this up as straight as I can while I'm backfilling this soil around it. And I'm going to kind of crush my soil so that it can fall around these roots instead of having big clods of soil around them. Okay, put some on this other side to get it to stand up. Y'all, I still have a lot of other trees, at least 6 fruit trees or 8. I'm seeing 2 more. Between 6 and 8 trees that I still have to plant that I had from the previous seasons. And I think that they're going to do much better out here in this soil than what they have been doing in the previous years in containers. Okay, I want to press the soil down around this tree without breaking any of my roots. And y'all, it's overcast again today, so we're expecting more rain. And I love planting right before rain. Okay, so we got the Honeycrisp apple planted. I'm gonna go ahead and leave those tags on for right now. But I will be staking these trees like I did the other one's got a stick. I'll be bringing a stick out here and I will be staking all these trees because the other one, the stakes are still next to the trees, but the trees are not staked to the tree. So, okay, 1 down, 2 to go. And the next one is the pear. And I am trying to space these out here so that they won't, I want to space them out, but I want them to be close enough just in case one of those apples needs a pollinator. And, you know, I like to have my trees a little close. They don't have to be too close together, but I need them to have enough space because over the years, they'll, you know, be getting bigger. So you want to make sure that you have plenty of room for your fruit trees to grow. And I'm looking at some of the big trees that are on the property in the space that they have. A lot of them don't have that much space, but they are still growing fine. So if there was anything that needs to be harvested off them, but you know, these will take a while before they get that big. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave them like this for now because, you know, sometimes landscapes change and sometimes you move things. So I'm just gonna go with this. This is what is gonna work for us right now, to have them this close, because really I want them to be closer to the house also. I don't want to put my trees way out where they are not, where I'm not, if I wanted to go out there and get some, I got to walk a long ways to go get them. I want them close to where if I want to go out and get some apples to bake a pie for dinner, I don't have to go way out to an orchard that's way, you know, far away from my house. I can go right out in the backyard, in the garden. Okay, so now moving on to the next one, and I think I'm just going to bring it. Let's see. I'm thinking that I want to go ahead and take it back in that direction because I have some other plans for this direction. Because as you all know, this is where I had the okra, and then I had the corn right there. And then after the corn moved, then I had the Jamaican sorrel. So I'm going to kind of do it a little bit differently this year, and it's going to be an orchard out here, and then we'll be able to put some corn, some Jamaican sorrel, and some okra around my orchard tree. So I'm going to move over here and make another hole. And I want to kind of stagger these trees. I don't want them in a straight line or anything like that. Okay, I see there's some ants over here in this area, but I'm not gonna let them stop me from putting my tree here. They just gonna have to move to a new home. I'll come back out and bring some diatomaceous earth and put on this ant bed. And that's another thing that you can go ahead and start treating your property for are those ants. Because if you go ahead and start now, then maybe they'll go ahead and leave. Okay, so this one has the same kind of potting mix. It's mostly bark. Okay, so that's what the roots are looking like on this. And y'all, for anyone who is not familiar with, these are bare root trees. So this means that these trees are dormant, so you don't see anything. It won't look alive. This is the way bare root trees look. But this is a way to purchase your fruit trees. They'll be less expensive when you purchase them like this. These were $17.99. And I got them at Tractor Supply. Okay, so I just want to do the same thing with this one. I want to make sure that I'm getting some soil around those roots and kind of crushing it, crumbling it to get it to go in around those roots. And that's going to help my tree to stand up. Well, I can go ahead and backfill this soil in around it. You don't want to plant these trees too deep. You want to make sure that this tree, if it has a graft union that you can see like that, that you do not want to plant it. You do not plant this underneath the soil. You do not put soil above this. Just kind of breaking the soil up. And this one is the Kiefer pear tree. This will be the first pear tree that I have on the homestead. Honestly, pears are not my favorites. It's probably at the bottom of the fruits that I like, but I do eat them. And most of the time I eat them fresh. I don't want them in like a dessert or anything like that. But all that can change because right now you don't need to be too choice about, all the food. So if this pear grows, I'm gonna eat it. If this pear tree grows pears, I'll eat them. Okay, so my pear tree is planted. And it looks like it's standing pretty straight to me. Okay, so now that's left is my plum. And my plum did have a It said my plum tree does say that it is a self-pollinator, but it added that if you have another one, that it will do even better. So that's something to keep in mind. So they did put that on there. Most trees, I guess, would do better if they have another one, you know, of its same species. To if it wouldn't have to be responsible for self-pollinating stuff, it has something to help pollinate it. So that does make sense. So just in case you're there at the store and you are prepared to get two, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and get two, even though they say that they are self-pollinated. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm going to put this pear, that's gonna be too close right there. Little ants throwing me off. I think I'll just go ahead and put this pear right here on the end. And y'all, there's gonna be some trees gonna come down off of this property. 2 trees that definitely have to come down off this property. And that's I have that weeping willow. It's already gone, it's dead. So it's got to go. And then this, I think this one is a birch. It looks horrible. I'll show you all this birch. Okay, this tree, it is too close for comfort, so it has to go because it's dying. But it does put off leaves during the spring and summer months, and it goes dormant. But it looks horrible, and it's very weak. So I don't want to keep it around, and it'd be dangerous. I want it to go. And I was just looking around at some of the other things around here that are in containers. Some of these things I will be keeping in containers, but some of these things will come out because I think about the fact that I purchased a lot of potting mix. And if I put some of these things in ground, that will put an end to me having to purchase so much potting mix. Because I already have soil that's on the ground, so that will keep me, whatever I can put in the soil on the ground, that will keep me from having to purchase so much potting mix. I left my container that I was using way over there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and see if I can dig this hole without having to go over there and get it because it still has some soil in it. Okay, there are some tree roots right here, but the tree is no longer here. We had a tree here years ago that fell, and so some of the roots are still under the ground. Okay, I was trying to make sure that those roots that are underground that belong to a tree that we had here years ago that fell weren't going to obstruct the growth of this tree, but I see that they are moving real easy. When I dig them, they just come up. And they are pretty dead, though. So you can see that they just crumble up. So that tree will do fine there because that tree, the roots down there are breaking down underneath the soil. I'll put some back in. I see a lot of crickets out here. I'm trying to dig a hole. Crickets coming out of the hole. Or falling in the hole. There's one right there. Okay, so we're gonna put this tree in here like this. And some of the soil around the bottom. Sticks out. worms down here. That's a good sign. A lot of worms. Some that probably escaped out of my worm bin because there are hardly any worms in there, y'all. So I will be having to start back on my worm casting, on making my own worm casting, using my own worms to make castings. I had to start it back up because it didn't survive the winter. It's real sparse over there. I'm gonna pour them out to see what is in there. What happened was, one day, wind had blew the lid off of my worm bin, and those worms were, I mean, it was just water, just a lot of water in it. So that is when I found out that there weren't hardly any worms in it. So I guess they floated too tight. I don't know what they did, but there's just a few worms in there. So yeah, we'll be starting back getting our worms and trying to make the worm castings again. I haven't given up on that. I just haven't replenished them since they all got washed away, and since it had been really cold out here, I haven't been taking care of those worms. So we'll get back into getting those worms and trying to make our own worm castings. Nice and moist soil, fertile soil that is getting a start in because there are a lot of worms in here. Okay, so we got the 3 trees planted. I have a kefir, pear, a medley, plum, and a Honeycrisp apple. So I'm excited about having these trees planted out here. And hopefully that'll be more food for us here on the homestead. Okay, so now I just started going through the garden, finding some of my containers that I can use to plant some of my flowers, like this beautiful Nico hydrangea. I found one pot right here. I'm just gonna add some of my plant tone. This is organic plant tone by Espomo. And this is my hydrangea. You can see it has some little leaves on it. And you all, I was back there when I was planting my trees. I noticed that there are some leaves on a couple of my fig trees. And I am very excited about that. Although, well, it's kind of mixed. I got kind of mixed emotions about that because of the fact that I don't want anything to happen to those fig trees, just in case it does get cold again. And they are already putting out leaves. I would have preferred that they stayed dormant until after the danger of frost had passed. But a fig can take a light frost, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, so let's see if this has a good, oh, look at that little cute plant. That is so cute. So I'm not gonna plant it no deeper than that is. That is as far as it is gonna go into the soil. You gonna see that? Plant it there, keep that above the soil. And that is all it takes for that hydrangea. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna plant up the rest of my containers. I want to show you all how I am going to use some of this soil that came off of those trees to fill the bottom of my container. So it's the sawdust and all of that. I'm gonna put that at the bottom of my container. And this is where I'm gonna plant the hydrangea. And see, this will continue to break down. And then I'll just put some good soil at the top. Go ahead and put some fertilizer in there in case those roots get down that deep. And now I'm going to put some good soil on top. And this is what I'm going to be placing at the top. I'm going to use some of this moisture control by Miracle Grow. And this is only for my flowers in the garden. I don't put this on my food, so I keep those containers separate. So I'm gonna put some of this nice, rich, it has fertilizer in it. And this is where I'm gonna add my next hydrangea. And this is the PG. You don't have any green at the top, so let's see what it's looking like inside. Yeah, I got another container down here that has one of my elephant ears that did not survive the winter. It is right down here in this pot, and it is very soft, so I'm going to take it out. Okay, this one looks very bare root. Go ahead and put it in here and we'll see. Let me do a little scratch test, y'all. I do scratch test with my thumb, but y'all, that could be hard. Okay, yeah. Okay, see, I did a scratch test on it to see, and so it's green in there, so that means that this one is alive, but it's just dormant. And if I had scratched it and it had been brown, then I'd be worried about it. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna place this in here. I want to put some more soil. I don't know, y'all. I think I maybe should have gone a little bit further. Maybe add some more of this potting mix. Add some more potting mix down here in my hole. Okay, so I'll put this about right there. Because what I was worried about is getting into that bark, and that's mostly what it was, bark. Okay, we'll keep a close eye on this plant. I could just take it out, but it'll be okay, because this is kind of like that also. The soil is going to have some bark in it, and that soil on top looks very much like the soil that I just put in here. So maybe that wasn't such bad soil after all, but we'll keep a close eye on this plant. Okay, so that is the PG. Y'all, I'm using my plastic spoons for my labels. PG Hydrangea. Okay, since I'm expecting these cannas to get pretty big, I'm gonna go ahead and put them into a large pot. And this is the Wyoming canna. I'm gonna add some fertilizer. Let me show you what the bulb looks like. Okay, so they gave me 2 bulbs for this canna. So I put one in another container. And the bulbs seem to be really in good condition. So I'm just gonna drop them in here the way that they are, with the roots pointing down. Don't have to plant them very deep. Okay, so and I already got it labeled. And then I come back and give it some water. I'm gonna put the other one. And then I have another container over here that I'm gonna put this Miss Oklahoma. This is a Miss Oklahoma canna. I don't know if I showed you all the other one. I showed it in the previous video, but in case you didn't see that video, this is the Wyoming canna. And these will spread out and they get huge, and they are some beautiful plants. And they come back every year. They are perennial. I like to have as many perennials in the garden as I can so that I can have them year after year. I won't have to go back and purchase more plants. And I'm just gonna put some fertilizer in here. I already have a plant in here. Got some pansies in here. And they can use this fertilizer also. Also got some Dusty Millers in here. I'm just gonna poke them underneath the soil. And I'm gonna see what the Canna bulbs are looking like. They're more like rhizomes, and this is what that one looks like, and I have some more. So I got a good deal on these Cannas with them having more than one bulb in there. And see, I can put some in another area in my garden. So I'm just gonna drop this one. I dropped one on the ground. Go ahead and get that one. And I'm gonna drop this one into this container right here. And I see that it has a node on it that is sticking up. So I'm gonna stick that, I'm gonna have that node pointing up. Okay, I'm gonna go back and check the other one that I already put underneath the soil to see if it had a node on it. And it does. It has nodes, but it also has roots. So I think that it'll be fine planted the way that it was. It'll find its way up. We're gonna go ahead and cover that back up. Okay, so we got some extra to plant in other areas of the garden. I'm excited about that. Okay, this next one, I have a self-watering pot. I'm going to add some of the same potting mix to the bottom. I believe these Cannas will be perfectly fine in here because they are not choosy about the soil that they're planted in. So I am going to put them in here, add a little bit of fertilizer, and then add some of this potting mix. And this time I'm gonna mix the Cannas. I'm gonna put some of the Wyoming Canna in here and the Miss Oklahoma. So this would be a variegated, it's gonna have some variegated leaves in it because the, I think it's the Miss Oklahoma that has the variegation. Let's make sure. The Wyoming has variegated leaves. Let's see if I can straighten this up. There are variegated leaves on this plant. Those, the foliage is variegated. And that is what the flower looks like right there. I'll give you a close-up on the Miss Oklahoma. It just has the green foliage and has the, that looks kind of like a, what is that? It's maybe not a pink, more a peachy pink look. I think it's beautiful. So I'm very excited about getting these planted. We're gonna add a little bit more fertilizer. I'm just gonna make a hole, put that one in. And these pieces are smaller. Just gonna drop them into this pot and cover them up. Okay, so we got another flower container planted up, and we're gonna put it with the rest. I'll water them all when I'm finished. Okay, the next one I'm gonna plant is this Merit Supreme Hydrangea. I think this will be the last one for the evening. But first I'm gonna have to extract this elephant ear from this container. Okay, these were some sort of roots. I don't know what this, oh, I think this is a hosta. This looks like a hosta. I don't think I would have put a hosta in there with that. I'm gonna toss that. I hope I wouldn't have put a hosta in here with a, wait a minute, y'all. Okay, let me feel this. I gotta make sure. Now the top is feeling, uh-oh, these airplanes start flying. I know we wouldn't be crop dusting this late at night, so. Okay. These are soft. That one was not just completely soft, but it was too soft. Okay, let's see, because this one don't want to come out. Y'all, it's acting like it still got some life left in it. Next season, I will try to remember. Y'all, next season, y'all remind me to take my elephant ears in so I won't have to go through this. But this one, this elephant ear, because elephant ears grow really fast. Now, I know if you plant elephant ears in the ground, then you shouldn't have any problem. Now, see, this one here, I got one. This one is at the bottom, and it's still hard. Okay, you can hear it. Did you hear that? Did you hear that crack? Let y'all hear this. You hear it? Okay, you can see that elephant ear right here. This elephant ear is still good. Now, the other one, the part that was on top was soft. But this is hard. See if I can get that right there. So I'm going to replant this one. This one right here, this is soft. I'm gonna see if I can remove this part. Probably gonna have to do it with a knife. Get this soft part away from this hard part. Cause all of this right here is good. You can see that elephant ear is still viable. So, and it has made some little hard babies. So that's another part that I can keep and I can plant. But I think what it is that it's going to need a larger container. So I can do that. I can give it a larger container. But in the meantime, I'm going to crumble this soil up a little. Make sure it don't have too many roots in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some of this soil off the top so I can add in some fresh soil. And all this here at the bottom, I'll just let it break down. Make sure there's no more elephant ears down here. That was a piece of bark. Okay, I could have left it in here, but. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some more soil. And I'll use that other soil to put in the bottom of the container that I put the elephant ears in. Because I'm gonna need a lot of soil because the container that I'm gonna be using is gonna be much larger. It's getting dark on me, y'all. I still have the elephant ears over there, the pennies, the, what is that? I still have the elephant ears over there as a plant. I still have some pennies. I still have the clematis and a dahlia to plant. So we'll be planting those up in the next video. And Also, we'll be pruning my apple tree and planting some of these other fruit trees that I need to get in the ground. Okay, so let's get this Merit Supreme into the soil. And I can see that it has some green on it already. If I can get it out without, oh, it is a beautiful little plant also. You all see this little pretty plant. That's a hydrangea. Break them roots up just a little bit. Open them up just a little and give them some room right here. Don't want them too deep. Put them in here, put some soil around them. And as I told y'all, as simple as that. My hydrangea plant is planted. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna water all these in, and I am going to, I really want to go ahead and get this in the soil, y'all. But I need to cut it off. Let's cut this off. Let's go get a knife and cut this off. Then we're gonna put this in the soil. Okay, y'all, I found a couple of pots at the back of the garden. So I'm gonna use one of them to plant this elephant ear. But first I'm gonna have to remove the one that is soft. The part of the elephant ear that is soft, I'm gonna remove that. I got a knife right here. I'm just gonna go around it to remove that part. And that part was pretty good, but on the other side is really, really soft. So now the rest of this, let's see, we got a part right here I can cut out. Y'all remember I researched this, and that's what they said that you could do. You could remove the part that was soft. So now I am left with, let's see if this part right here is a little soft. So hopefully I don't need to let this scab over anything. It didn't say let it scab over, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plant it into this pot right here. I'm gonna add some fertilizer. And I'm just gonna drop this elephant ear in. Okay, so now we have our elephant ear planted. This is the elephant ear. This is a previous elephant ear. So I have some more elephant ears that I just purchased that I will be planting in tomorrow's video. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed the video today and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.